that has been given to us under Article 204, which requires the government to use the equalization fund to provide basic services in these marginalized areas. Honorable Madam Speaker, it's very, very disheartening to note that in the 21st century, there are areas where roads have not been opened up. There are no access roads. You'd be shocked, Madam Speaker, that some areas, even when somebody passes on, people in that particular area, they are tasked to carrying the coffin on their shoulders so that the body can be taken to its final resting place. Honorable Madam Speaker, we have areas, mentioned areas in this country where we have women giving birth by the roadside because, Madam Speaker, the nearest health center is kilometers away from the site. Madam Speaker, we have areas where children and say those areas should not benefit. All what we are saying is let there be a thorough audit when this particular committee sits down. Let there be a thorough audit so that we can be able to map out this country and see, other than these areas that are now benefiting, which other areas deserve to have this fund. Madam Speaker, I'll speak out to where this fund is going through the county governments. Madam Speaker, I will be moving an amendment so that this money goes to the NGCDF kitty. And Madam Speaker, I'm making this proposal because when I came to Parliament, I had an opportunity of serving the decentralized funds. And Madam Speaker, without any fear of contradiction, I will say that I am a witness that NGCDF fund has been properly utilized in a majority of our constituencies. And in some of these areas, when you go and want to know what the county government has done with their funds, Madam Speaker, I want to say a resounding nil. So, Madam Speaker, I'll be moving that amendment, and I'm sure it will carry the day. Madam Speaker, I also want to say, let us also go back and do another audit on where this money was already disbursed, so that we can find out if this money has been utilized in the right way, or if money is just being given and people take advantage of the fund. Madam Speaker, also, I want to propose that as much as it's in the bill, I want to say, Madam Speaker, let us have uniformity in the way projects are being done in these areas. Because, Madam Speaker, it does not be logic. When you are given money to build classrooms, and then the classrooms are built a makeshift of classrooms, then we will never move from asking for this equalization fund. So let us have uniformity in the way these projects are being administered, so that at least we move from these areas completely. Because you can never remain marginalized for life, Madam Speaker. But if we do this the wrong way, then these areas will be marginalized, and then again we still continue calling equalization fund, for the same purpose that has already been done. Madam Speaker, let us look at the percentage in terms of development from these areas that are benefited, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I really want to say, if this fund is properly priced, then it will be even a game changer in terms of sustainable development, Madam Speaker, because it will promote an environmentally friendly and equal inclusivity of all areas in this country in terms of development. Madam Speaker, I want to speak out to areas like Nairobi, where we are assuming that the area is very, very well developed. Madam Speaker, we will see that the pockets of areas which require this equalization fund. However, I want the government of Kenya the better program, because like housing projects that the government is undertaking, this housing project will be engaged in most of the areas because it's giving equal opportunities to everyone. Citizens will be able to own houses, decent houses which are affordable. So, Madam Speaker, the government is doing its part. Let also people who are the people who will use this money, Madam Speaker, utilize it in the best way possible. Madam Speaker, I want to say we have countries like Australia where they have equalization fund, and when you visit that country, Madam Speaker, you'll be able to see what this fund is doing to bring people closer. So the inequality gap will be lessened if we use this equalization fund properly. Madam Speaker, I also want to say let this money also be disbursed in a very timely manner so that people don't vet budgets, people don't sit down, do public participation, and then at the end of the day, they finish 2, 3, 4 years before this money hits their accounts. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I strongly support this bill and say let us look at areas like in Meru where we are in need of this equalization fund. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of that debate. Mover, Honorable Kimani, mover to reply.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. From the outset, I would like to thank the many members that have made very, very good contributions to this bill. We like the proposals made by Honorable Doty and Honorable Sergon, Honorable Kande, all those Honorable contributions that have made on this bill. And my advice is, as we're seeking to become the committee of the whole House, please pass with the class to process those amendments, and we will be happy as sponsors of the bill, the Committee on National Planning, to make sure that we actually have a law that can be watertight, because when we had a problem with the Constitution Act, it was declared unconstitutional by the court. So we have a piece of law that is watertight. Also to have a piece of law that balances the distribution of these resources, because neglecting that area in terms of allocating resources for those projects. And unfortunately, neglecting that area in terms of allocating resources for those projects. And unfortunately, even some of the NGCDF committees also neglect some of these areas. So in as much as we want to bring those areas that are marginalized at par with the rest of the country, I think it's also important that we have political goodwill of all the leaders and all those people that are assigned with allocating resources to our communities, so that we do not disadvantage some communities, we do not marginalize some communities because of our own political differences. And with that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply.
Very well. I will defer the putting of the question to the next appointed time. Next order.
Order number 10, the Insurance Professionals Bill, National Assembly Bill number 13 of 2024. Reading.
Okay, Mani, today is busy day. Could you move the bill? Oh, you can move. But it was moved and seconded, so I will start with proposing the question. Honorable members, I will propose the question that the Insurance Professionals Bill, National Assembly Bill 13 of 2024, be read a second time. We'll start with the member for Rural.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving this opportunity. Let's say on onset about the bill, because of course it's from my committee. And Madam Speaker, this bill into Parliament, the electoral Parliament, and it was very well drafted. But the one we got this Parliament, it was very good. And of course, we are also with the members to propose for amendment to make it more better. Let me see this. This sector is a very important sector in this country. It contributes to 21% to GDP, and employs over 10,000 people directly. And together with the manufacturing, banking, and ICT sectors, contributes around 53% of tax revenue. However, insurance penetration in this country still remains low. It is at 2.4%. The third lowest of South Africa, and below global average of 7%. The sector faces a lot of challenges. One of them is that the insurance engines are common. Therefore, people don't want to take insurances. Uncertainties in the market and cyber security risk, together with workforce inefficiencies, because some of the claims take too long. Beyond I have one taken like 3 months before. And the last one is unfavorable regulation framework, which has hampered penetration of the insurance in the country. This bill is trying to address some of these challenges. And the main objective of the bill is to provide a framework for regulation of professionals in the sector, to enhance standards in the sector. Also promote professionalism and address certain concerns regarding professional misconduct in the sector. A lot of people fear this sector because people don't have people working there. They don't have very good conduct. The bill seeks to establish the insurance institution of Kenya. In fact, this bill is trying to establish two things. One, to establish insurance in Kenya, and also examination board, which will be doing the regulating the exams, which are going to be taken by professionals in this sector. So, in the case of Institute of Insurance Institute of Kenya, this body is going to regulate professional contacts and maintain level standards of services rendered by professionals in the sector. This is equivalent to SPAC, if you know SPAC, whereby if professionals in the sector misbehave, they are going to be penalized and put in order. Part 4 of the bill contains provisions for the registration of insurance professionals, so that the professionals can be registered, therefore their conduct can be monitored, and those who are misbehaved are going to be punished. There's also going to be a registration committee that will be mandated with the registration of professionals. That's what this pack does, basically. All the professionals who have done in accounting profession are registered, and they can be monitored. And the bill will help to promote recognition of insurance professionals in Kenya and beyond, so that at least even those Kenyans who have they have the professional qualification recognized, like the way accountants are. The bill provides for examination board, professional examination board, which is going to be entrusted in preparing syllabuses and set up exams. Madam Speaker, when we are doing public participation, we realize that College of Insurance is the one which is which is actually setting up exams. And some of the courses are 2 weeks. So somebody starts wondering, if somebody like assessors, they go for 2 weeks and then they become professional. Somebody starts wondering, if somebody does an exam a course of 2 weeks, how does that person become a professional? So these are kind of standards which we are talking about. So this examining body is going to prepare syllabus and set up the exams and also issue certificates for professionals and promote reconciliation of these exams so that at least anybody who is doing this exam is recognized as a professional. Currently, as I said, it's not a professional examining board for the sector. And this body, that means if the exams are going to be set here, somebody who has a college, a student who is taking courses in somewhere in Texas, or in Kitui Rural, or in Mwea, can take the exams in that college because they are going to be the same exams for that particular course. So, as I said, I think this bill is very important so that at least we can, the penetration of insurance can actually be enhanced, and the contact of the people working in the sector can be good, and people are not going to lose their claims as it has been happening before. With a few remarks, I support.
Thank you. Member for Kitui Central, Dr. Makali.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also join my colleague, Honorable Boni, in supporting this bill. And it's important that, Honorable Speaker, this bill is in the House today because you and me, you remember this was in the 12th Parliament. And you couldn't see the end of the day because the term of the 12th Parliament ended before the bill could be out of Parliament. So how I wish that this time, Honorable Speaker, we'll be able to see the bill go through. This bill is very important, Speaker. It's been important for many, many years. It's only that we are doing this when, according to me, it's a bit late. This should have been done many, many years ago. And why am I saying that? Honorable Speaker, insurance sector in this country is a very important sector. And it plays a very key role in assisting the country, even grow economically. And when we look at this bill, it captures some very critical areas of what needs to be done for us to have an effective insurance sector in Kenya. One of the areas is the institute, where we are saying we need to be able to say who is an insurance professional, so that by the time you are called a professional, Honorable Speaker, you'll have gone through some training, you'll have made some minimum hours of training for you to qualify to be called a professional. Honorable Speaker, this is one of the sectors where we have what we call briefcase insurance brokers, agents, and all that. And as a result of having this briefcase agents and brokers, Honorable Speaker, our people have suffered. Honorable Speaker, I'm sure if I were to ask you, or one of my colleagues here, how many people you know in your village who have either been involved in a car accident or have paid money to an insurance for something, either insuring against fire, and when that act happens, Honorable Speaker, it becomes an issue to get that money back or the payment for that insured item, Honorable Speaker. We have so many cases in this country. And this is basically because, Honorable Speaker, people are very good when they come to sell the policy. When they come and they want to talk to you, at the time of selling the policy, they use any language you can imagine so that you buy that policy. But once it comes to pay, it comes to the time to pay, Honorable Speaker, that's how the war starts. And by this bill, Honorable Speaker, a situation whereby we'll be having professionals who will now be able to Honorable Speaker, to work professionally and get claims paid on time, because that is critical. The other part, Honorable Speaker, is important is the issue of examination, which has been administered to this profession, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in most professions, the minimum required hours you must cover in terms of lecture or hours, Honorable Speaker, for you to be qualified. And if you go to the ISPAC, if you go to the lawyers, if you go to the engineers, there are minimum hours. Unless you have achieved that, Honorable Speaker, you will not be able to be called a professional. And that's why, Honorable Speaker, in this country, we have seen some universities who attempted to offer engineering degrees being actually registered by the Association of Engineers because they were not able to be minimum hours. So the same way, Honorable Speaker, Through this bill, we'll be able to have professionals who have gone through some minimum hours of lecturing so that they become professional. In that case, you'll be standardizing the training to allow time to allow time for this bill to be passed by this House so that it becomes an act of Parliament and it can really improve our insurance sector. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, I also want to urge the Insurance Regulatory Authority